Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com, and welcome to this video which is called Impatience, Confusion and Doubts when Manifesting. We all know it, we all have been there, that we start manifesting something, we go into this manifesting journey, this realm of teachings, of Neville's teachings, of the law of assumption, maybe even previously the law of attraction, and then that didn't resonate fully with you. And then you came to Neville, his teachings resonate with you, and now you do some of the techniques, you do some of the shifts, you start to get an understanding for what it means, and you are sometimes here and there even in the wish-fulfilled state, which is really good, but then still impatience kicks in at some point. You really feel like, where is it? There is no movement. Why isn't something happening? Or you're confused. Is it this technique that brings me the result? Is it that technique? Should I apply this? And then you sometimes even get doubts. Is it even possible? What if I waste time? What if those teachings are stupid? And all of that stuff kicks in. What's the cure for that? What can be helpful? This is my video to help you out when you notice impatience, confusion, and doubts while you manifest your desire. So with that, let us waste no time and just jump straight into the video. Now, here's a quote from Neville that I would like to share first, where he said, "You must be brazenly impudent and not take no for an answer." Right? So what we want to learn right now, really what this video should inspire you to, is to stop being a grasshopper, right? Stop being a little grasshopper that sees like the big grass and all those things bigger than you. No, right now it's time to be bold. Right now it's time to embrace your boldness as a bold manifester, right? And to not accept no for an answer, to not accept breadcrumbs for an answer, and do this like as much as it resonates with you. Maybe there are things where you say, no, I want to change my desire, or I go for something else and all of that. But if you really have something like this, and that, you desire it, you imagine it, you know it's possible, and you really desire it, then, and if you really want to manifest it, then it's time to be bold. You can't just have a mempy-pempy, like Neville said, mempy-pempy, like I say, wishy-washy approach, right? You need to not take no for an answer. You need to not be a little sheep, a little grasshopper, and embrace your boldness. So don't minimize your desire because it seems too big, right? Don't negotiate it. Remember who you are. Really important. Remember that your desires, your circumstances, your problems, it all depends on you. It all depends what you give life to, why you take attention away, where you give new awareness to, what you now become conscious of. That is then what you get more of in your life. And don't compromise the wish fulfilled for any logical reasoning, because that means to miss the mark, right? If you have all of these desires, but you just keep hungering, keep desiring them, keep longing for them, and you're not actually moving in the wish fulfillment internally, you're not doing internal realignment, you're not shifting in new states internally, then this is what Neville means by missing the mark. You're just wasting potential. You're not expressing what you could actually express. And I think this is really important, right? In some incidences, it just needs this very, very stupid, very plain, very simple stubbornness. You know, I'm really stubborn. Like, I have this mentality, if I want something, I get it, no matter what it takes. I really have this, I carry this with me since the last maybe 3 years. This is when I, really strongly developed it. Before that, it was also alive within me. But then as I, gained Neville's wisdom and as I got into those teachings, I now have a stubbornness, meaning if I want this, I don't care. Like, I know I will get it. I don't care if it takes a week, a month, a year. I don't care what needs to happen. But if I want this, if I want to achieve that, if I want to get this, if I want to be this, I will be it. That's it. No compromising, no questions, no doubts, no worries, right? So that as a little introduction. But still, that doesn't fully cover this topic of if you are now impatient and if you are confused, if you have doubts while manifesting. So let's talk about the solution here, right? Now, what I would like to point out is that it is normal, it is common, it is not a shame. You don't have to blame yourself. It happens to me, it happened to Neville. It is normal to first of all see no changes, or to even see like seemingly opposite stuff showing up in your life after you're going internally into the end state, right? So now desire comes up, you imagine it, you assume it, you apply any technique to feel yourself into it, and then 2 days later, 5 days later, an opposite thing happens, or there is no movement at all. That is normal. That's not a bad thing. But here is the essential point. Now the essential point is really important. What are you doing now? Now that you notice, okay, there's the movement, there's the opposite happening that you label as the opposite. But I have a video on this, by the way. Check it out, where I talk about what to do when the opposite happens. This is really important. And I can give you a little tease already. You labeled as the opposite. If you would be in the wish-fulfilled state, that current external event wouldn't really bother you, couldn't actually trigger you, since your reactions are always coming out of your inner state. So check out this video that I linked above about the opposite is happening. Oh my God, what should I do? So now you have impatience. Now you are confused what to do. Now you have doubts if it is possible. You're noticing all of that, right? This is the essential point where you notice, oh, like this is there. Okay. And then the question is, what are you doing right now? What most people do is they're feeding this, right? They're feeding what their current external world shows them. They're feeding this opposite. They're feeding those reactions, right? They basically return back into the old state. They let the current world, the current circumstances, suck them in again, and then boom, they're back into the old state. Boom, in assuming the old stuff. Boom, in having left the state of the wish fulfilled. So do you do that, or do you pause? Right? When you notice that I'm impatient, where is my desire? Or you're confused, what should I do next? What's my next step? Should I do this or that? Should I take action or wait? Or you have doubts on if it's possible. When you notice that, you pause, you relax, and you go back in the imaginative experience that implies the end. You go back in the end state. You go back in being who you want to be. You go back in having what you want to have. Because again, that end state, that state of the wish fulfilled denies all questioning. It denies all waiting, all still desiring, all worries, all doubts. In the end state, it's the end state. You have it, you are it. And you can be there internally. You don't need the physical manifestation of your desire to be in the end state. You can internally be in the end state without your manifestation being there. And you need to be in the end state first within, that the external world can confirm it. Right? So it's very important for me that you understand this. This is this key point. What do you do when you are impatient, when you are confused, when you have doubts? Do you just keep dwelling on that and do nothing and go in this downward spiral of doubts and worries and trying harder and feeding the current circumstances, reacting on them, and therefore being back in the old state, where you still keep then waiting and hoping and desiring? Or do you gently pause, zoom out, and boom, consciously go back in the wish fulfilled through whatever way resonates most with you? It can be a scene, a congratulation, it can be eavesdropping, it can be I remember when, it can be simply stating it can be simply an intention, it can be simply a decision. It doesn't matter, but we need to internally make alive again the end state where all of this is not possible. Because in the end state, you can't be impatient. In the end state, you can't be confused. In the end state, you can't have doubts. You have it, you are it. And that is a radical internal realignment. We aligning ourselves internally again into the state of the wish fulfilled, of having it, of being it. So we go from desiring to fulfillment. We go from suffering and wanting into the satisfaction. We go from seeking into being. I also have a video called Stop Seeking, Start Being It. I will link this above right now. This is also really helpful. Right? Stop seeking, start being. We go from hope into faith, into knowing. This is what we do when we internally realign us again into the state of the wish fulfilled. So now let's make this practical. Let's summarize that. Let's make this understandable for you so that you can take something home after watching this video. Now, you notice your reactions. So this happens, right? You notice that you have reactions that don't match the wish fulfilled state, and then you panic, right? So be honest with yourself. I'm sure we all had this, right? So we are on this journey, we started it, and then boom, a bill comes, boom, no text message, boom. We see things that we actually don't want to see, boom, we have a health symptom, whatever it is, and then we panic. Oh shit, like what should I do right now? Meaning we have a reaction that of course we would not have if we would be fully in the wish fulfilled state. We could not have an opposite reaction, right? Or do you have doubts? And do you acknowledge that your manifestation isn't here yet? You're triggered because it is just not showing up yet. It is not physical manifested. Or you're not sure if you should take action, or if you maybe even miss an opportunity towards your manifestation. By the way, if this whole topic of should I take action, should I take no action, what is an inspired action, if all of that is relevant to you, then check out the video I did on should you take action when manifesting. right? But these things are usually what are popping up. Like you notice a reaction that does not match the wish fulfilled. You have doubts and you acknowledge that it is not here yet. You're not sure if you should take action. You want to get a manifestation quicker. You feel impatient. You search for new techniques. Pause, relax, go back in the end state. Go back in the imaginative experience that implies you already have it. That's the most safest, the quickest, the easiest, the most stable, the best investment that you can do to again be aligned in the end state, right? It's a radical internal realignment. You're not wishy-washy where you keep doubting for 5 days and then you imagine a little bit, but then you're doubting again all the time. You're being impatient all the time. No. Pause, cut, relax, breathe, wait a little bit until you're at home, until you go for a walk, and internally again maneuver in the state of the wish fulfilled. Maneuver again into asking yourself those questions. How would I see the world if I would have it? How would the world see me if I would have my desire present? How would the world see me if I would already be this desired version of myself that I want to be? How would I see the world from that perspective? What would imply to me? What would change in my life if I would have it? What little act would that be? And then imagining that act and really devoting yourself to it and imagining it here and now. What would a friend say? How would your two best friends speak about you if you already are this desired version of yourself that has achieved the goal? What would imply to you that you have it? Well, I remember when I desired all of this. Now it's normal for me. I remember when I, tried to manifest this person into my life. That also implies that you do have it now. You bring your awareness back into being it, into having it. But you become conscious again, you connect your consciousness again with having it, with being it, with making it natural again. So you internally align yourself to the state where you are having it, where you are being it, and that's it. Right? And while you are dwelling in the end state, while you're dwelling in the wish fulfilled, you can't have impatience, you can't have confusion, you can't have doubt. So really keep this point in life. First of all, it is really good when you notice opposite reactions, when you notice that you are impatient and you catch yourself, okay, that's the case right now. Yes, that's no problem. That happens to all of us, that there is sometimes an unmatching reaction, a trigger. But use this as a guide to show you that in this moment you are not in your desired state. But then the question is, what are you doing right now, right here? Do you keep feeding it and dwelling on it and nurturing the old state, the old man, the old version of you? Or do you consciously revert and maneuver back into being it and having it again internally? Via all the techniques available, via your preferred technique, via deciding it, intending it, whatever helps you best. But you need to shift again in the wish-fulfilled state, right? So don't take no for an answer and have the stubbornness. Be stubborn on it. Like, don't even nurture, like 1 day of doubts. It's okay when you have some doubts showing up. It's okay when you notice seemingly the opposite being there. I already linked a video on how to deal with that. But it is not good. It becomes a problem when you then don't do something about it, when you keep dwelling on it and nurturing that. So zoom out, relax, take a pause, and gently, doesn't need to be force, gently maneuver in the wish-fulfilled state again. Right? Internally realign yourself again with the viewpoint of having achieved the goal, of being this version of you that you want to be. And that's it. Right? That is what you do when you are impatient, when you're confused, and when you have doubts. You go back into the wish fulfilled that denies all of that. Right? There's this example that you're here right now and you want to be on top of the mountain. Now, if you are internally standing on top of the mountain, right? You imagine, you're picturing yourself being on top of the mountain. While you are in that, while you are in the state of being on top of the mountain, you can't worry how you will get there. You can't worry what needs to happen, and you can't be impatient, you can't have doubts. No, you are internally already on top of the mountain. So take that as a metaphor for your desires. If you are internally standing in the wish fulfilled, all of that is denied. All of that will diminish and fall away and no longer be present. Right? The wish fulfilled state comes with new thoughts, new feelings, new experiences, new imaginations, new manifestations, new solutions. But it needs that inner shift first, that inner movement first. And if you need any help with that, check out the 2 links in the video description and in the pinned comments. One is my free masterclass. Second is for you to apply for a free 45-minute consultation call to find out if we are a good fit to work together in my program. If you want to internalize, apply those teachings and get your desired outcomes in life. That's it from my side. That's what I'm doing when I feel impatient, when I feel doubts, when I feel worries, when I am not sure what to do. I go back to the place where none of that can exist. And that is the wish fulfilled. And that is within you. The manifestation is a consequence of that wish fulfilled. I also have an older video on that, which I will link above right now. With that, I conclude this video and I speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.